Um, well, so without wasting much time, why on-prem? Because as you all know, what's happening in the world of AI today? Most of the LLMs, आप सबको पता ही है LLMs कहाँ बन रहे हैं? यूएस में मैक्सिमम LLMs वहाँ से बन रहे हैं, ओपन AI है, एंथ्रोपिक है, जेमिनाई, सब वहाँ से बना. फ्रांस ने अपना LLM लॉन्च किया, मिस्ट्रल. उसके बाद इंडिया ने भी भारत जेन और सर्वम किया, और इसके बीच में चाइना ने डीप सीक किया, और अभी आई थिंक उसके अलावा भी कुछ है, कोहेर कनाडा ने किया है. सो दिस इज हैपनिंग विद द वर्ल्ड ऑफ LLM. कहाँ पे बन रहा है? व्हाई इज दिस इम्पोर्टेंट? It's important because Anthropic wanted us, all of us, to have access to Fable. And what happened? US government ने button press किया और बंद 2 दिन के अंदर. So it is important where the LLMs are being built. So मान लीजिए हमारे को अभी यह सर्वम हमारा बना है हमारा, बट सर्वम का एक्सेस कितने जनों के पास में? वो जनरल एक्सेस LLM तो है नहीं. सो अभी अगर हम लोग सब क्लॉड या फिर जेमिनाई यूज करते हैं तो वो डेटा कहाँ जा रहा है? So it is well known, data goes there, control remains in the West, and this is a GCC summit, so some of them are obviously offshoots from those countries. So I mean, but the control actually goes to the West and remains there. So there was a thought, I want access to my data, I don't want my data to go. And let's say I'm a small business based out of Pune. So if I decide to not let go of this opportunity and say, let me just make use of LLMs, even though they are built in the West, what's the big deal? So I mean, I can do that. But then what about the government? Can it do it? Let's say the government says, okay, the lower government organization, I mean, some state governments and government organizations, we'll have a deal. We'll make sure that they allow us and all of that. They do it. But what's really happening is our top level government officials, they cannot risk using AI which is built in the West. And even the ones that are available, I mean, आप लोगों को पता है कि नहीं पता नहीं मुझे, but ये जो भी LLM, एंथ्रोपिक और ये सब कंपनीज बना रही हैं, इसके भी काफी लेवल्स हैं. The main LLM that they discover, they keep access to it to themselves, and maybe the government gets it, which is the US government. उसके बाद एक rundown version निकलता है कुछ दिनों बाद, that is given to their 40 friends, but they are also based in the West. उसके बाद एक rundown version और निकलता है, उसके बाद we are given access to that, and then it is taken away. So even if we use that, data तो ऊपर जा ही रहा है. Can we risk our business by asking it all the questions and automating workflows and all of that? So we thought of an on-prem LLM where the data remains, but there is always a trade-off between on-prem and cloud. And I don't have to explain that to the gentleman here. So we decided to do an agentic day at miniOrange. तो उसमें क्या किया हमने एक 4-5 AI एजेंट्स बनाए और LLM हमने ओपन सोर्स LLMs को यूज किया. एक हेल्थ केयर का एग्जांपल लिया हमने, हेल्थ केयर धनवंतरी AI बनाया जिसका वीडियो आपको दिखाऊंगा थोड़ी देर बाद, और उसके अलावा एक रक्षक AI बनाया है which is about intelligence response using satellite images, which is very interesting. If you want access to that, I can show you a demo at my booth outside. एक चाणक्य AI बनाया है which is about query analysis and on-prem CRM, which is very easy to build these days with Claude. और उसके अलावा AI based SaaS and DaaS tools बनाया है for vulnerability discovery and all that. But while we were doing that, we figured out obviously कि shadow AI discovery, उसका governance वो भी जरूरी है, तो उसके बारे में policy enforcement और policy writing उसका भी कुछ बनाया है. But today I'm going to show you mostly what I did in my healthcare part. So miniOrange also has a hospital of its own. It's called Rita Mukherjee Hospital. So I wanted to see if I wanted to adopt AI, because we go around the world sponsoring about 20 such events around the, and in India also we sponsor 20 such events. So I wanted, so I learned from there that generally the world is right now busy adopting AI and seeing what is the ROI. So what I did, एक हॉस्पिटल है हमारा, तो वहाँ हमने एक धन्वंतरी एआई को डिप्लॉय किया है. तो जो डेमो अभी आपके सामने दिख रहा है उसमें पेशेंट पोर्टल है. तो पेशेंट पोर्टल क्या कर रहा है कि पेशेंट पोर्टल इज सिंपली अबाउट आई गो टू आई गेट माई सम ब्लड टेस्ट डन एंड आई अपलोड इट एंड आई ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम आई सी अ ट्रेंड कि मेरे ब्लड टेस्ट रिपोर्ट क्या है क्या नहीं है. तो ये सब किया और उसके बाद but when I have that, I will go to a doctor, and that doctor will look at my blood test reports, and he will give me some medicine and all of that. So the way we did that is by each doctor in my hospital. अभी क्या होता है 50-60 at least 50 to 60 patients are seen by one doctor. How much time does he have? Does he have time to look at the history of the patient? Does he have time to comprehend each parameter? Does he know कि जो parameter मेरा आज आया है, is it a downward trend or an upward trend? ये सब पता नहीं है उसको. Because he's a human, he's not a machine. But guess what? AI has the capability to understand all of this and not forget. So what you're seeing in front of you is the doctor's portal, where the doctors are actually looking at everything from the past. The AI part of it is assisting the doctor. So here doctor is in the loop. He's looking at all the trends, and once the doctor tells what is a common complaint right now which the patient has, AI itself is generating a recommendation. So what happens, what we found, you'll be astonished, every time we write whatever the chief complaints and all are, AI is able to figure out the diagnosis very, very accurately. And these are my doctor's words, not mine. Most amazing. So without, doctor is still in the loop, but doctor के बिना help के AI is figuring out कि क्या हुआ है. Now there is an LLM here which is trained in the West, but हमारे hospital के अंदर भी 30,000 rows of data है in the last 5 years, because this hospital is running for the last 5 years. वो data हम जब भरते हैं तो exact medicine जो चाहिए उसकी भी list आ जाती है. और वो doctor can obviously override that and all of that. But we are observing in our pediatrician department, in our general medicine, that actual diagnosis आ रहा है और कुछ भी ऊपर नीचे करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ रही है. This is huge. There are so many places in India which does not have access to good doctors. Right now, this team has in its pipeline, it has patient portal improvements, doctor portal improvements, plus nursing improvement, where the nurses will themselves write all the problems that the patient is having before it goes to the doctor. And I feel that the reach of this is going to be huge, because there are some villages in India which don't have access to doctors, and this can be very useful there. So I'm very hopeful. This has been operational for the last 1 month. Next 6 months में क्या होगा? But anyway, so we started talking about on-prem, we talking about AI, then on-prem AI, then we talked about this. Patient hospital में आता है because he wants some trust. He doesn't want his data to go out of the hospital. Are we taking care of that? So in this case we did, because what we did was the LLM was deployed inside the premises of the hospital itself. But LLM is not doing all the job. We had to write an AI agent also, which would take all his history and give to the LLM as a prompt. तो उससे काफी प्राइवेट हो गया डेटा, बट फिर भी डेटा प्राइवेसी पूरा इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं हुआ है, बिकॉज अभी राइट नाउ देयर इज अ DPDP लॉ इन इंडिया and that mandates a few things. So let's talk about that, because on top of this, what we did was implement our entire data privacy suite. Data privacy सिर्फ on-prem appliance करने से हासिल नहीं होगा. उसमें आपको data discovery लगेगा और ये सब कुछ लगेगा, data protection लगेगा. So I have a small demo of what we did. इसमें क्या देख रहे हो आप कि so once you, well, my friend from Redacto is here, so I I think बताना मुझे आप कुछ अगर कुछ different लगता है. But basically what you are seeing here is an implementation of our own product which we provide to our customers for DBDP, and we implemented that for a hospital as well, just to see. But since it's a very limited use application, a few doctors, not many different applications, so it wasn't very difficult to implement. But I'm trying to give you a glimpse of what all it has. So the way it works is you discover where all your data is present, and then you have an automated way of creating a ROPA. And once you have all of that, then you will see some screens where the data subject rights, the guy who was given the consent to use his data, he can go in and delete it and remove the consent and all of that. So वो सब आप देखोगे इसके अंदर. उसके अलावा हाँ, so उसके अलावा you will see that the DPO has the ability to go and do some breach notification and all that stuff. You can see what all applications have access to the data, whether it's in-house or outside, how the data flows through the organization. वो सब चीजें आप इसमें कर सकते हैं. So very important aspect. So initially, like I said, while this demo is going on, we started talking about AI. Then we started talking about on-prem AI. It took care of a lot of privacy aspects. But since the recent DBDP implementation mandates us to figure out where all your data is present, you need to implement a DBDP. You need to implement a product like this, which lets you create a ROPA and figure out where your data is. Not only that, on the patient portal or any of the consumer side, you need to implement a consent and cookie system. And that consent and cookie system has to have support for all the 22 languages that India has and whatnot. Now, since this is a GCC conclave, many of your business units are established maybe in Europe, where GDPR is important. And some of our customers come in and ask us that, hey, if you are implementing so much for DPDP, do I need my GDPR vendor, or can you replace them as well? So the answer is yes, we can. And we are actually working with one of the largest, how should I define it? Shipping, personal and business shipping companies in the world, which has headquarters in Europe. And we are implementing a DBDP product for them, as well as trying to evaluate whether we can replace their GDPR vendor. So those things came out. And right now what you're seeing is the person is trying to manage his cookies, give consent and all of that. And that's about it. So, right, again, to go over everything that we saw so far. AI, then on-prem AI, then privacy. And all of this was implemented using the on-prem LLM, and we wrote a huge agent. When we talk about an AI agent, we have to talk about AI security. How to govern the agent, what all policies to write, and these are the different aspects of AI security. And there's a lot of things going on in the world. I mean, we hear a lot of noise from Anthropic, especially around Mythos and Fable and all of that. But when we talk about AI security, you have to worry about the model itself. Right now, one of my GC customers has asked me if I can figure out if the model itself is something that, I mean, it has, say, 8,000 engineers sitting here. They don't want any of the Chinese model to be downloaded. And they have specific models for each department. HR gets access to, say, GPT 5.5, and developers get access to Opus 4.7, and all of that they want as policies. So these are the four different angles of it. I'm going to talk a little bit more about security for AI, because that's the agent. Remember the healthcare agent that we wrote? So the healthcare agent that we wrote, what all access it had and what all things we can do to make sure that it is not doing any SOD violation and all of that. There's a big problem going on in the world. There are 80 agents to a human, one identity. There's so many agents. There are so many orphan agents being created. When you go and have any kind of an AI thing in your system, and you will see that there's a lot of shadow AI going on. So you need to discover stuff. And when you go for this shadow AI discovery, you will see that different engineers would have used maybe Claude, maybe NA10, or all the automated agents that are out there. They may have already been using that. So we'll discover all of those. So we did something similar. We figured out that this is a particular agent that we wrote, and which was a disease predictor and healthcare AI. These are some of the things that we have written. What all access we gave, and what all access does it have? Because it is accessing the EMR system of our hospital, as well as it has access to the LLM where it is querying stuff. And it is being invoked by different doctors, so they should have different permissions. And these different doctors are of different departments. One of them is a pediatrician, one of them is a general medicine. So all of them have different access rights. So all of those things are very important. So you need to be able to define their policy and see if there is any violation that is going on. So that's why this is important. So this kind of a product can easily get you access to all of that information. This particular thing, very important, like I was saying, once you do the agent governance and stuff, what you're seeing is that what all LLMs are approved for your particular department, and that is what you just saw. Sorry, I think I missed. Okay. So the challenges that we got while doing on-prem AI, it's an upfront. It's a little bit of a cost. But talking of cost, about the company which is going to pay $500 million just because it forgot to use the changes settings on how much of the on cloud LLM its developers can use. So there's a little bit of upfront cost because you need to figure out the appliance and download the LLM. They need to worry about uploading or upgrading the LLM. But in my opinion, and what we have seen in my healthcare AI thing, once you have your workflow automated and all, you may or may not want to upgrade. So this is the kind of architecture we have had in there. These are the different type of users. We wrote that huge agent, which is not a very. If we had more time, I would have given you more tips on not to write bigger agents, but to write smaller agents and cage them a little bit. But we wrote a big agent, and they've gone through a RAG layer to go to the on-prem LLM, and they can access the different systems that they have. So that's all. Basically, what I was trying to get to today in a short period of time was LLMs are there being written all over the world. There's a big concern where your data goes. I have experimented with on-prem LLM, and we have used Medgamma, we have used Nematron, we have used Sarvam in these experiments, and we got great results. We've implemented our own agent, all-encompassing agent. We did some agent governance and observability there, which worked out great. We are actually helping our customers. One of the recent examples was it wanted us to restrict what all LLMs are accessible and what all it can do. So I gave examples of that. But this is 2026. We came into existence 14 years ago with identity security. We are experts of that. We have about 30,000 customers around the world, most of them in Europe and the US. Many of the companies that are represented here today may be our customers. And so the identity security is my forte. There isn't one use case, be it legacy SSO, MFA, or be it on cloud, any complex scenario, switches and routers, TACACs and Radius, all protocols we support. And then recently we have done, because once we did, we all know that identity is the new perimeter. But when customers are sure of identity, they want us to make sure the devices are trusted. So we came up with our DLP and MDM products. And now we are extending the same to non-human identities and AI agents as well. And data privacy is our newest product. So with that, we have been given the Security Product Company of the Year award by DSCI this year after 14 years. And we also got a Privacy Product of the Year award at CyberSec Mumbai recently. And Jan Gan Man Bajwa Denge is our slogan. The reason is that I also own a sports academy based out of Pune, where 75 athletes from all over India and many from Hyderabad are training under 4 coaches. We do training in athletics and triathlon. My triathletes are national champions and also representing India in different Asian competition. Recently, we went to Hong Kong and we won. We missed the podium, but we came 4th and 5th in the boys and girls category, which was huge. And my aim is to get them to win in the Olympics. And when we win the Olympic gold, which we badly need to, then our national anthem will be played. And that's when we will achieve our goal, which is Jan Gan Man Bajwa Denge. With that, thank you so much. Okay, cool.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anirban Mukherjee, for such an insightful presentation and also about the insight and your vision to going to the Olympics. Now, I would request Mr. Jigar Soni to kindly come on stage and present a token of appreciation to Mr. Mukherjee. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a huge round of applause?
Thanks. Very nice.